The streets of Atlanta are officially on fire, and the entire hip-hop world is standing in absolute shock. What you are about to witness is the total demolition of a 20-year truce between two of the most dangerous, powerful, and unyielding titans in rap history. Just hours ago, an explosive unedited video leaked from the absolute depths of the 1017 recording studios. The footage shows Gucci Mane completely losing his mind, shattering a massive crystal table, and delivering a chilling direct threat to T.I. This isn't just another internet beef for publicity. This is a cold-blooded, raw, and terrifyingly personal declaration of war. T.I. thought he could use his final retirement album, Kill the King, to quietly bury Gucci Mane's legacy under a mountain of lyrical disses, subtle insults, and devastating street allegations. But Clifford opened a door he can never close again. Gucci Mane has officially broken his silence. And he didn't just respond. He threw a live grenade directly into T.I.'s retirement plans, calling him a delusional, washed-up actor who has completely lost his mental stability. The tension is so thick right now that insider sources claim federal authorities and Atlanta police are on high alert for immediate physical retaliation. Do not blink, do not pause, and do not turn away. We are breaking down every single second of the most dangerous confrontation hip-hop has ever seen. Is this the end of an era, or the beginning of absolute destruction? The streets of Atlanta did not just catch fire overnight. To truly comprehend the catastrophic gravity of this unfolding war in June 2026, we have to look back at the dark, bloody foundation of modern trap music. We are talking about the absolute architects of the Atlanta rap scene, Clifford T.I. Harris and Roderick Gucci Mane Davis. For over 2 decades, these two men have sat on opposite thrones, commanding multi-million-dollar empires built on concrete, street politics, and raw lyrical power. But underneath the glittering diamond chains and global fame lies a toxic, simmering ocean of deep-seated resentment and unresolved trauma that was always bound to explode. This isn't just a random clash of egos. This is a multi-generational power struggle for the very soul of Atlanta. Back in the mid-2000s, Atlanta rap was divided into 2 distinct worlds. T.I. emerged from Bankhead with the calculated precision of a corporate kingpin. He crowned himself the king of the South and successfully rebranded his street image into mainstream gold. He secured major Hollywood movie deals, corporate endorsements, and a massively popular family-friendly reality television show. T.I. wanted the world to see him as an elite diplomat, a man who had successfully outgrown the trenches to become a global brand. He wore the finest tailored suits, spoke with an expanded vocabulary, and rubbed shoulders with billionaires. But while T.I. was busy chasing Hollywood validation and clean corporate contracts, Gucci Mane was dominating the absolute darkest corners of Zone 6. Gucci was the raw, unhinged, and terrifyingly authentic voice of the streets. He did not care about corporate sponsors or television networks. He built his entire reputation on being completely untouchable, a man who survived the deadliest blocks of the city without ever compromising with the mainstream machine. He was the definition of an underground phantom, a rapper who did not need a boardroom because he owned the block. Then came the year 2005, the definitive moment that etched Gucci Mane's name into street folklore forever. When Gucci Mane successfully beat a high-profile murder charge after an armed confrontation with an associate of Young Jeezy, his street credibility turned into bulletproof armor. He walked out of that courtroom a living myth, carrying a reputation that left the entire industry terrified to cross him. He was a man who had stared death in the face and won. This massive cultural divide created an unspoken, toxic Cold War between T.I. and Gucci Mane. Gucci secretly viewed T.I. as an industry plant, an actor protected by corporate executives who did not know the true grit of survival. On the other hand, T.I. looked down on Gucci, viewing him as a reckless liability and a chaotic force who lacked the intelligence to build a legitimate, structured corporate empire. For over 20 years they maintained a fragile, uneasy distance, sharing the same streets but never sharing the same room, knowing that a single spark could ignite a citywide war. The hip-hop community foolishly believed this ancient malice had been buried forever during the historic events of late 2020. When Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy stood on that legendary Versus stage, staring into the jaws of past bloodshed, and ultimately shook hands, the world thought Atlanta had finally healed. T.I. was loudly celebrating the moment online, orchestrating the narrative of a new peaceful era of Southern unity. But in the rap ecosystem, peace is nothing more than a tactical illusion. It is a moment to reload, analyze your opponent's weaknesses, and wait for the perfect psychological moment to strike. That moment finally arrived in 2026. T.I. shook the foundations of the music world by announcing his final retirement album, Kill the King. He marketed the project as his final curtain call, promising his fanbase an uncompromising raw masterpiece that would cement his legacy as the sole undisputed ruler of Atlanta rap history. The early singles dominated the charts and radio stations, building an unprecedented wave of anticipation. But behind the triumphant rollout, a sinister trap was being laid. T.I. wasn't just preparing a farewell to his fans. He was systematically using his final platform to settle old scores and decimate the legacies of those who refused to bow to his crown. Gucci Mane was sitting directly in the crosshairs of a lyrical execution, and the explosion that followed has left the entire industry permanently scarred. The definitive moment that shattered this fragile 20-year truce occurred on the absolute stroke of midnight, when Kill the King finally hit global streaming platforms. The entire music industry was listening, analyzing every single syllable, but it was a heavily rumored unreleased bonus track titled Crown Custody that sent a literal shockwave through the concrete streets of Atlanta. T.I. did not just drop slick, hidden subliminals. He went completely cold-blooded, delivering a calculated, devastating verse that directly weaponized Gucci Mane's recent legal nightmares and street controversies against him. In a verse that has now gone completely viral across TikTok and Twitter, T.I. rapped with a slow, menacing delivery, mocking a certain boogeyman who built empires on federal paperwork but comes to the city acting like he runs the streets. He openly pointed at the high-profile federal arrests of Gucci's former 1017 artists, implying that while real kings go to the feds and stand 10 toes deep, others turn into soft civilians and cooperate with corporate lawyers behind closed doors just to keep their multi-million-dollar distribution contracts intact. For 12 agonizing hours, there was a suffocating, terrifying silence from Zone 6. Fans were panicking online, flooding the comment sections with viral memes, openly wondering if the trap godfather was too damaged or too legally compromised to respond to such a direct assassination of his character. But behind that wall of silence, an absolute volcano was preparing to erupt. The first massive jaw-dropping twist hit the internet on a private, anonymous Telegram channel, completely shattering the nature of this feud. A raw, unedited 3-minute video recording was leaked directly from the inner sanctum of the 1017 recording studios, capturing a glimpse of pure, unadulterated rage that was never supposed to see the light of day. The visual scene described by insiders was nothing short of a psychological thriller. In a dimly lit, smoke-filled studio room, Gucci Mane was pacing back and forth like a caged predator, completely surrounded by heavily armed, stone-faced members of his entourage. His face was entirely distorted with pure, blinding anger, his eyes wide, bloodshot, and fixed on the monitors. As T.I.'s track played loudly on repeat through the massive studio speakers, the tension in the room built to a suffocating peak until Gucci Mane completely snapped. With a primal scream of pure fury, he grabbed a massive crystal ashtray from the mixing console and hurled it directly through a pristine glass studio table, shattering it into thousands of razor-sharp pieces that flew across the room. The entire entourage instantly froze in absolute terror, nobody daring to breathe or make eye contact. Gucci Mane then marched directly up to the studio microphone, his chest heaving, pointed his finger aggressively into the camera lens, and unleashed a terrifying, unscripted verbal onslaught directly targeting T.I. He repeatedly yelled T.I.'s government name, calling him Clifford, a delusional plastic actor who thinks because he went to Hollywood and put on a little suit, he can talk down on a real god of the trenches. Gucci screamed into the microphone, calling T.I. a privileged snob who grew up with a silver spoon compared to the raw warfare he survived. He openly dragged T.I.'s own controversial legal history into the light, yelling for the world to remember the infamous Crime Stoppers commercial and questioning how T.I. magically escaped a 30-year federal weapons charge by talking to the government. He closed the chilling recording by delivering a direct, icy threat, telling T.I. never to bring his fake entourage to Zone 6 or perform those songs in the city, promising on everything he loves to turn T.I.'s retirement party into a literal nightmare before reminding him of what happened back in 2005. The leaked video cut out abruptly as a security guard rushed forward to swipe the phone away, but the cultural damage was already instantaneous. Within minutes, the video was ripped and uploaded to every major hip-hop platform, racking up millions of views and completely blinding the public with shock. This wasn't a standard, friendly rap battle anymore. This was an explicitly violent confrontation, referencing a notorious real-world casualty from Gucci's past. The entire internet went into an absolute state of panic, waiting for immediate physical retaliation in the streets of Atlanta. But as the world watched the footage in disbelief, the situation grew infinitely darker. A secondary leak emerged from an encrypted group chat belonging to top-tier music promoters, revealing a twist that makes this entire scenario 10 times worse than anyone originally anticipated. It turns out that this explosive video leak was not an accident, nor was it done by a random starstruck engineer. High-level insider intelligence has just confirmed that the video was a calculated inside betrayal. A deeply trusted, high-ranking member of Gucci Mane's own inner security detail was secretly offered an astronomical six-figure payout by an outside corporate entity to secretly record Gucci's reaction, waiting for the exact moment he lost his composure. This means that the absolute security of 1017 headquarters has been completely compromised from within. Gucci Mane isn't just fighting a war against an old rival on a retirement album. He is actively surrounded by paid informants and corporate spies inside his own camp who are weaponizing his legendary temper to completely destroy his mental stability and financial power. T.I.'s lyrical strike was just the bait, and Gucci Mane walked directly into a perfectly orchestrated trap designed to alienate him from his business partners and legacy. The question hanging over the entire industry right now is terrifyingly simple. If the boogeyman of Atlanta cannot even trust the men holding the weapons in his own studio, how far will he have to go to take his ultimate revenge? Do not go anywhere, because the escalation that followed this inside betrayal has just pulled the rest of the industry into the line of fire. The viral explosion that followed this inside betrayal completely paralyzed the internet, causing major social media servers to glitch as millions of frantic hip-hop fans scrambled to witness the fallout. Within 2 hours, the Atlanta Police Department reportedly established an emergency task force, placing undercover units outside both 1017 headquarters and T.I.'s private estates because the streets knew this wasn't entertainment anymore. This was a ticking time bomb, but while the public was frantically debating the leaked studio video, a secondary, completely unexpected bombshell dropped that fundamentally shifted the entire narrative of this war. An independent investigative outlet leaked a highly classified security log and a frantic 911 audio file from a multi-million-dollar estate in Buckhead, Atlanta. Just 48 hours prior, T.I. was hosting an ultra-exclusive, private pre-listening celebration for Kill the King for high-level industry executives and close family. According to the jaw-dropping security leak, a caravan of 4 blacked-out armored SUVs pulled up directly to the front gates of the mansion. Heavily armed men stepped out, demanding that T.I. step past the security perimeter to settle the dispute face-to-face. A terrifying, high-stakes standoff took place in pitch darkness, with private security guards drawing their weapons as Gucci Mane's affiliates stood their ground at the gates. Insiders claimed that inside the house, a furious T.I. had to be physically restrained by his own security team from walking out into an ambush while family members were weeping in absolute panic. The situation was only diffused when the sirens of 3 unmarked police cruisers echoed down the block, forcing the blacked-out SUVs to vanish into the night. But here is the mind-blowing twist that has left the entire industry in absolute horror. Gucci Mane didn't just guess where T.I. was. A leaked audio recording from an encrypted burner phone reveals that Gucci Mane was tipped off by a secret traitor inside T.I.'s own inner sanctum. The voice on the call, which insider sources claim matches a prominent Atlanta producer closely allied with the Harris family, can be heard giving Gucci Mane the exact GPS coordinates and the precise time T.I.'s security detail would be rotating shifts. This means both empires are completely compromised from within. While Gucci Mane is dealing with corporate spies in his studio, T.I. is harboring real-world traitors in his inner circle who are actively setting him up for a dangerous confrontation. The moment this Buckhead standoff and the traitor audio file went viral, the industry backlash was instantaneous, chaotic, and completely uncontrollable. Platforms like No Jumper and World Star Hip Hop were updating their feeds every 60 seconds as the biggest names in the culture began taking cover. DJ Academics instantly went live to an audience of over 100,000 viewers, screaming into his microphone, frantically telling his audience that this is the most dangerous situation hip-hop has faced since the mid-90s and warning that if somebody doesn't step in to mediate immediately, Atlanta is going to witness an absolute catastrophe on live television. Then T.I.'s 21-year-old son, King Harris, completely threw gasoline on the raging fire. Going live on Instagram from a crowded studio surrounded by an aggressive entourage, King Harris looked directly into the camera lens and unleashed a wave of furious disrespect, yelling for that old, bitter dude from Zone 6 to stop barking on the internet because nobody is scared of him, and warning that his family stands on absolute business and will not be intimidated by broken studio tables or empty threats. The digital space instantly mutated into an absolute war zone with fake Twitter threads tearing the rap ecosystem apart. Industry insiders were tweeting in absolute panic as rumors claimed T.I. was currently at an undisclosed, heavily fortified location recording a Lethal Response track. He was reportedly losing his mind over King Harris being targeted by street elements. Media outlets tweeted out telling people to look at the leaked security logs from Buckhead, stating this isn't rap music anymore, but corporate warfare mixed with real-world malice, even joking that someone needed to call J. Prince before the weekend hits. Even 50 Cent could not resist the chaos, posting a sarcastic meme of the shattered studio table on Instagram with a caption mocking the cost of creative differences in Atlanta and warning T.I. to keep his vest on because Gucci doesn't look like he is trying to win a Grammy. But just as the internet was digesting this wave of pure madness, an anonymous hacker group uploaded a string of encrypted text messages, allegedly intercepted from a major streaming platform executive's private device. The leaked messages show a chilling, hidden corporate plot that changes the entire motive behind this feud. The texts reveal that T.I.'s brutal diss track wasn't an emotional outburst at all. It was allegedly a calculated, corporate-subsidized hit job designed to systematically devalue Gucci Mane's independent catalog. The narrative implies a multi-billion-dollar tech conglomerate could violently force a hostile takeover of 1017's master recordings, which raises a brand new, terrifying question that has the entire industry shivering in fear. If T.I.'s retirement album is actually a weapon funded by shadow corporations to destroy independent black music labels, who is the real king? And who is just a pawn in a multi-million-dollar game of death? Keep your eyes locked on the screen because the public explosion that followed this corporate revelation has just forced the rest of the industry to pick a side. The global hip-hop community is now completely fractured into two fiercely warring factions, and the internet has turned into an absolute digital battlefield. The viral hashtags Team Gucci and Team Tip are trending worldwide, generating millions of hostile comments, video breakdowns, and intense fan debates every single hour. The sheer scale of this controversy has forced the biggest names in the entertainment industry to step forward, drop their neutrality, and deliver their final verdicts on who is right and who is wrong. On one side of the trenches stand the die-hard, hardcore street purists who are fiercely defending Gucci Mane. They argue that T.I. broke the most sacred unwritten laws of hip-hop culture by using his final album to weaponize unproven legal rumors and corporate paperwork against a fellow pioneer. To them, Gucci's violent, explosive studio reaction was completely justified. They believe that when a man's street credibility and character are publicly assassinated on a global platform, a musical response is not enough. You have to defend your name with pure, uncompromising power. On the opposing side stands the massive mainstream audience supporting T.I. They are flooding comment sections with old news articles, court records, and memes mocking Gucci Mane's anger. They claim that Gucci Mane is simply terrified because T.I.'s lyrics exposed an uncomfortable truth that he did not want the world to see. They argue that T.I., as the self-proclaimed king of the South, has every right to use his final album to clear his conscience, drop the ultimate truth bombs, and expose the hypocrisy of anyone who tried to challenge his crown over the last 20 years. The controversy reached a boiling point when hip-hop's ultimate internet troll and media mastermind 50 Cent decided to weigh in heavily on the drama. Taking to his official social media account, 50 Cent posted a side-by-side photo of Gucci Mane's broken studio table and T.I.'s album cover, adding a savage, sarcastic caption that immediately racked up over 500,000 likes within 30 minutes. He wrote that creative differences in Atlanta are getting expensive, mocking Gucci for destroying thousands of dollars of studio equipment just because Clifford wrote some good poems. He warned Clifford to keep his security tight because Gucci looks like he is trying to win a lifetime sentence rather than a Grammy, telling him to enjoy his very loud retirement. The comments section under every major hip-hop channel has become an all-out war zone. Users are commenting that Gucci Mane is a real-world predator in this game while T.I. thinks this is a movie set, warning that you cannot talk down on a man who actually survived the trenches and expect him to just write a verse. Other fans shot back, calling people blind and claiming T.I. spoke nothing but facts, arguing that Gucci has been acting strange since his artist got hit with those federal charges, and that he is just mad because his mask got ripped off. Meanwhile, the legendary Rick Ross attempted to play the role of a mature, diplomatic mediator during a high-profile radio interview in Atlanta, but even his statements carried an underlying tone of deep concern and subtle warning. Ross stated on the air that he loves both of those brothers and recognizes them as absolute kings who built the platform everyone is eating off of today, but insisted that people have to be real about the streets. He warned that when you start talking about paperwork and bringing up the past, the energy completely changes, concluding that this isn't entertainment anymore but real life, real families, and real empires on the line. The industry division is growing wider by the second. Radio stations across the South are reportedly banning T.I.'s new music from their airwaves out of sheer fear that playing the tracks could incite real-world violence outside their broadcasting studios. Major club promoters in Atlanta have officially halted booking VIP sections for both entourages, completely altering the city's nightlife landscape. The public is terrified, the celebrities are taking cover, and the entire rap community is holding its breath, waiting for the final devastating blow to land, because a statement has just leaked from the upper echelons of the industry that points to an even deeper, uglier betrayal. Just as the entire world was reeling from the shock of this corporate warfare, the absolute ultimate bombshell dropped in the dead of night, completely resetting the board and leaving the entire music industry in a state of sheer unadulterated terror. The escalation has bypassed the music entirely, and the next phase of this war is moving directly into a legal and psychological arena, where only one man can survive. A countdown timer suddenly appeared on Gucci Mane's official website, blinking in blood-red text under the ominous title, "The True Death of the King." The digital clock is ticking closer to zero by the second, and the entire world is watching in absolute silence. But it is what T.I.'s camp did in direct response to this mysterious countdown that has confirmed everyone's worst fears. The panic has officially reached the highest levels of the legal system. At exactly 6 o'clock in the morning, a leaked document from the federal court clerk's office in Georgia revealed that T.I.'s high-powered legal team scrambled to file an emergency midnight federal injunction. Their mission was simple but desperate. They wanted to completely seize Gucci Mane's web domains and legally block the broadcast of what insiders are calling the Clifford Files. Think about that for a single second. If this was just a standard hip-hop beef, and if Gucci Mane was just bluffing with empty threats online, why would T.I.'s lawyers be panicking at a federal level to shut it down? They are panicking because the Clifford Files are real, and they are reportedly catastrophic to everything T.I. has built over his 20-year career. An anonymous source inside the legal team leaked a single sentence from the sealed court filings, and it has sent a literal chill down the spine of every major artist in the South. The leak claims that Gucci's master tape contains a decrypted audio recording from a historic, encrypted wiretap where a voice identical to T.I. is heard discussing a massive, secret arrangement with federal prosecutors. This recording does not just implicate Gucci Mane or local figures. It reportedly names multiple top-tier Atlanta rappers, music executives, and major street figures from the past decade. If true, this completely frames T.I.'s entire legacy as a street king as nothing more than a calculated, government-sanctioned play to eliminate his corporate competition while keeping his own hands clean. But here is the final mind-bending twist that has left the public completely breathless and unable to process the scale of this betrayal. Gucci Mane didn't get these files from a random internet hacker group or an anonymous whistleblower. A secondary leak from an encrypted communication network used by elite celebrity bodyguards reveals that the hard drive containing the Clifford Files was stolen directly out of T.I.'s private home safe in his Buckhead mansion. And the person who allegedly handed that drive over to a 1017 representative has shocked the culture to its core. The rumors are pointing directly to an absolute inside betrayal within the Harris family household itself. Someone deeply embedded in T.I.'s inner circle, someone who has watched the family drama unfold behind closed doors for years, finally chose a side and handed Gucci Mane the ultimate weapon to destroy the king. The psychological warfare has now reached a definitive point of no return. Music has been completely left behind, and real-world survival has taken over. As we speak, heavily armed private tactical security teams have been spotted setting up a massive perimeter around an undisclosed, secret warehouse location on the outskirts of Atlanta. Insiders are reporting that an emergency, high-stakes meeting has been called behind closed doors where both T.I. and Gucci Mane are rumored to be heading right now for a final, face-to-face confrontation before the countdown timer hits 0. There are no cameras, no press, and no police allowed near the facility. It is just two legendary giants staring into the jaws of a 20-year hatred, surrounded by ironclad security. If this meeting goes left, it won't just be the end of a highly anticipated album rollout or a successful retirement plan. It will be a literal historical catastrophe that will permanently alter the rap map forever. The red lights are flashing across social media. The timer is down to its final hours, and a devastating truth is about to explode into the public domain. You cannot afford to look away from this situation for even a minute. What happens in the next 24 hours will change the perception of hip-hop history forever. Keep your eyes locked onto every update because the final piece of this massive puzzle is about to drop. This is hands down the most dangerous, jaw-dropping moment in the history of modern music, and the clock is ticking down to absolute destruction for one of these legendary figures. We need to hear your voice right now down in the comments section below. The clock is ticking, and the entire hip-hop landscape is about to change forever. Do you believe T.I. crossed a sacred line by allegedly weaponizing real-world street rumors on his retirement album Kill the King? Or does Gucci Mane's explosive, immediate studio reaction prove that he is absolutely terrified of the truth coming to light? Are you standing with Zone 6 or Bankhead in this historic clash of titans? Are you officially Team Gucci or Team Tip? Flood the comment section with your wildest theories right now because our team is actively monitoring every single response as this situation escalates. If you want to stay ahead of the game and get the absolute truth before anyone else, make sure to smash that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on all access notifications so you do not miss our emergency live breakdown the exact millisecond that blood red countdown timer hits 0. The next 24 hours are going to be absolute chaos in Atlanta, and you cannot afford to look away. Stay locked to this channel, keep your eyes on the screen, and we will see you in the very next video.